the Toscar goes to the Gift of Life Tarot. I'm not going to be consistent at saying that, so I'm sorry if I don't say that for every category. I don't think anyone cares but me. But I do. It's called continuity. Angel babies. I'm sick, so please excuse my voice, but I am back with another video. I am BB. This is my channel. Excuse me, I don't usually do much of an intro, but like maybe I make tarot videos, if you can't tell by the title. I am so excited to do this video. This tag is Tarot Academy Awards by Fairlight Tarot. I've been really enjoying her videos. She's really great. She has an amazing collection. I want to thank you, Fairlight Tarot, for making a tag that speaks to me so strongly. And yeah, so this is the Tarot Academy Awards, like I said. Also, welcome if you're new. Hi. Welcome back if you're not. Again, told you I'm not really good at these intro things. Like maybe I should write a script. I wrote notes for other things. I'm also caffeinated, so I'm sick, caffeinated. So sorry about both. Okay, so let's go. Working on a film set in almost any capacity was always a dream of mine. So this is a really, really good topic for me, really fun topic. Let's talk about film. Film is my favorite art form because it really combines all the arts, and I'm greedy and I like all of the arts. So when it comes to set design and decoration, cinematography, direction, casting, music, location scouting, writing, character development, all of those things are things that I truly love and adore. Color, you get it. Movie making is just as thrilling to me as the movies themselves. The glamour of Hollywood and like the lore of Hollywood is something that was always really exciting to me. I can't tell you why. I mean, maybe I liked glamorous things, but also growing up in Orange County, Hollywood was kind of a stone's throw away. And I always liked history and those eras. And so I guess all of that together just made it very appealing, right? It was like very seductive. I'm sure it still is. That's why we still have an industry. The history and the progression of film as an art and as an industry is fascinating to me. I went to film school for a very short period of time because that shit is expensive. But when I was there, I really, really loved learning about the history of film and the development of movie making and the innovation and the creativity, that had to go into just the technicalities of everything. I guess we can segue into Hollywood, the industry. I do want to acknowledge that Hollywood has a history of racism, sexism, transphobia, homophobia, abuse, exploitation, ableism, corruption, you name it. It's kind of like a pressure cooker of all of the issues that our country has. And I want to acknowledge that, that all of that is seeped into the Oscars because the Oscars are a reflection of Hollywood, right? We are crawling toward the future, but we have a long way to go. And then when we get to the Oscars, I've watched the Oscars most years since I was a child, and because of that, I think I know of more Oscar films than ones I've actually watched. And I also want to acknowledge the formulas, trends, snubs, and IOUs that happen in the Oscars. I don't think that it would be inaccurate to say that the Oscars, the Academy, likes certain things and they trend to voting certain ways versus others. all influenced by the things I've just referenced. And there are kind of like what it feels like certain awards are given out towards the end of an actor's life, like that have made like comebacks or something. So it's very emotionally, I feel like, motivated. Even so, you're not looking at necessarily always someone's performance in a vacuum. It feels like the Oscars tend to feel very contextual, right? Like in the bigger picture, whether that's good or bad. Like, I'm not saying that it should be that way. It feels like the Oscars are its own animal, and I'm grateful that there are other types of awards, like award shows and things like that. I also want to say, like, I completely acknowledge the fact that Hollywood, along with a lot of other things, but even more so Hollywood has like a big ego, right? It's kind of like ego is a big part of the industry in general, and it really likes to congratulate itself. So like there's this side of me that like loves the Oscars, and then there's this other side of me that's like everyone's just patting themselves on the back. And I don't mean that like they didn't put the most effort and the most creativity and like blood, sweat, and tears and belief and like good intention and all the things into a movie. I think a lot of people do. And I think that I think films change lives, and I think they illuminate and teach and expand, and like they can, at their best, they can change the world. But, there's like the Hollywood formula. There are things that Hollywood thinks. So like, let's just call it like the studios, right? And the shot callers, the investors, the heads of studios and stuff. There's like a thing that they think makes money, and because it has made money historically, thankfully, like the Hollywood formula is changing, but it still appeals to the masses, which is what they want to do. But what they underestimate a lot, and I see this across all sorts of industries, is that they get to, like I said, teach and illuminate and expose people to things that are better, funnier, smarter, And so like we get a lot of mediocre films that are churned out like to be moneymakers. And I'm not saying a lot of films, and this is probably going off topic because a lot of these films don't get Oscar nominated, but we are talking about Hollywood. And I think that it would benefit everyone, including Hollywood, to elevate themselves and the standards that they hold to like scripts, and trust that the audience will follow. I guess what I'm getting at is like, I feel that movies are dumbed down because whoever is in charge is thinking that that's what a mainstream audience can digest. And I don't agree. And I think we should, like, if people are watching films as a source of like entertainment and education, like we can elevate them, like if people aren't reading books and they're watching films, like why not make our films smarter? I don't know. That's just a little bit of like a big topic that is kind of not the point of the Oscars. So these are the types of films probably that are elevating, right? Okay, the last thing I want to say before I get into it is that I'm going to leave out Best Actor and Actress because I really didn't feel the need to include them in my picks. I felt like my selections and my winners were really well-rounded, and I didn't feel like I needed to include decks for Best Actor and Actress. I also don't usually consider my decks to be masculine or feminine necessarily, and I feel like that's a very broad statement that everyone has a different understanding of. I don't really anthropomorphize my decks, so there we are. That's the plan. So I think I have, let's see. I'm doing 8 of the 10 prompts. Thank you for listening to my spiel. And our first category is Best Screenplay. And this is a deck with a great guidebook that stands out in a sea of boring little white books. And I had to give it to, or I guess I should say, and the winner is my new Shakespeare tarot. Can you see that? Yes, you can. So this is the deck. It's gorgeous. I just did a flip through on my channel. So if you're interested, check it out. And this is the guidebook. And it's a doozy. It associates every card with a person from a Shakespeare play. It is in color. It has large text, which is why it's so thick, but I appreciate it. And it also talks about a lot of stuff like in the front of the book. So it's kind of setting you up for like the way that the book is laid out and why the type of information that's provided is provided and like the connections that were made. It's incredible. And I just got this deck, so I have not read a lot of it, but I am so excited because I've always been a fan of Shakespeare. So this is going to be really, really fun. What a great winner. What a great first Oscar. Oh, and also I just remembered, the title of this video is Toscars or has Toscars in it. I haven't decided yet. And my friend suggested that be the name. So it's the Tarot Oscars, the Toscars. So I thought that was cute. The second award is for Best Special Effects. It's a deck that's visually out of this world. And the Toscar goes to the Goblins and Gardens tarot deck because it's out of this world. Like, it's so good. I featured this a few times on my... Oops, sorry for all the noise. A few times on my channel before. The visuals are just so funky and cool. Like, very, like, 70s, 80s. So, you know, Goblins and Gardens is pretty out of this world, I would think. That was pretty much all the cups because I think I was going to do a walkthrough of this one. Yeah, but like a really, oh, this is my favorite card. I love it. A really amazing deck, very out of this world. If you aren't familiar with this deck, it's based off of Dungeons and Dragons drawings of like characters and set in like garden magazines and like, is it like architectural too? Hold on, I'll find out. Yeah, so Goblins and Gardens is a tarot deck featuring artwork collaged together from gardening encyclopedias and Dungeons and Dragons books and modules. So freaking cool. So cool. Best special effects for sure. The next category is for Best Costume Design. It's a deck that shows outstanding attention to details. The details must have been designed especially for this deck. And the Toscar goes to the new classic Taroki by Mr. Freeborg. I love the details. The details start at the box for this one. It does have an embossed skull, like wallpaper, kind of like, I don't know. I always describe this deck as like between Baroque and Rococo. It's like a mix of the two styles. And I would probably describe this embossing the same way. The front feels very Rococo in color as well. And like in the lightness of like the filigree and everything, it's very like finely detailed and delicate, which is customary of Rococo style. But then you get more into the backs, right? Okay, so this is the classic edition. There is a vintage edition as well. And the backs look very Baroque. This is heavier. It's more rich. It just has more visual weight, which is in line with the Baroque style. The skulls recur throughout the deck. The details of this, so it's a linen, it's a very fine linen. It's not very textured. And you can tell that each card was, you know, painstakingly designed. The colors, like it's not something where the same colors are just kind of splattered across the deck. Like you can tell every card individually was considered when it comes to color, design. So beautiful. And then on top of that, it kind of fits in this category because they are wearing periodic costumes. I would say that, you know, I wish that the Academy would focus, or maybe not focus is the word, but acknowledge and recognize contemporary costuming as well, because that is a talent, excuse my voice, and a feat on its own. But they do tend to award more historical films and like fantasy, etc. Which, I mean, understandable. Oh, I love the cups. This is just a beyond gorgeous deck, and I feel like it's a perfect pick for best costume. Even the pips feel costumed, you know? So beautiful. The next category is Best Photography, a deck that has achieved an outstanding result in capturing the images. And I chose The Gift of Life, which may be very literal, but sometimes I am, you know? The Toscar goes to The Gift of Life Tarot. I'm not going to be consistent at saying that, so I'm sorry if I don't say that for every category. I don't think anyone cares but me. But I do. It's called continuity. There's someone on set who makes sure that everything is the same in a like linear sequence, you know? Sometimes they're not so good at it. So anyway, off topic. This is a photography deck, obviously. And it's beautiful. And I think it captures the essence of each card so well. It also captures the human spirit, which I really love. This deck feels like a documentary, you know? The next category is Best Documentary, an Oracle deck that excels in all the categories presented and that is awarded for lifetime achievement. The Toscar goes to The Vision of the Muse. I've had this for years and years and years, and it is an old faithful. It never lets me down. It never gets boring. It's beautifully designed. It's wonderfully photographed and collaged. It can apply to almost everyone. I really enjoy the keywords. It works with so many decks, which just happens when you have like a colorful oracle that has, you know, it has like negative space in it. It leaves, like it breathes type of thing. It has a concise but great, sorry, upside down, guidebook. I would say that these entries are really connected and better than the average like little white book. So that applies there too. Just a sweet little thing. Just a sweet little bestie. Really visually fun and satisfying to look at, right? That's the Best Documentary, The Vision of the Muse. The next category is Best Director, a creator that has shown outstanding results in the coordination of the entire production from cardstock to art style to guidebook. Now, I didn't pick a creator, I picked a deck, but you'll see why. So maybe, I guess it goes, the Toscar goes to Travis McHenry, but I chose the Hieronymus Bosch Tarot. Look at this design. This is published by Rockpool. This is the box. It's like a linen style box, and it opens in the middle, and it has this like aqua foil. It's so gorgeous. I don't know if you can see the foil. Yeah? Look at that. Isn't that amazing? Maybe it's just me. It has a really great sized, here, let me move this. The deck's in here. It has a great sized guidebook, full color. It has its own system. It has an entirely like unique tarot system. So you might not call this a tarot deck, but you know, so we have it, which makes it like an auteur experience, right? Someone just took an entirely existing thing and made it fit into Hieronymus Bosch's artwork completely. Did not try to take Hieronymus Bosch's artwork and fit it into the existing thing, which I think makes this tarot really unique and really, really cool. So let's look at the deck. So the design doesn't end there. We have that same aqua foiling here. The backs are gorgeous. The fronts, I always feel funny saying fronts, is that bad? The font is amazing. No border, it's not really needed. It does have some keywords here too. Just a really cool, like I said, really unique deck. And like every detail was thought of, you know? Every detail was intentional. The entire system of this deck was intentional. It has its own suits. It has the major arcana, and then it has its own suits. And the suits exist with, like, I believe aces and then the court cards, and that's kind of it. Like, it was really throwing, it was like, if we can't do a good tarot Hieronymus Bosch, we're gonna do a Hieronymus Bosch tarot. Does that make sense? So that's my Toscar pick for Best Director. A delightful deck, a departure. And that's what directors do, right? They have a vision and they execute from top to bottom. They have the last say. I mean, unless you have a studio telling you need to change things. But if you have control and the director has trust with the studio, then you get things like this that are so, so pretty. Okay, 2 left. The next category is Best Movie in a Foreign Language, and it's a deck that excels in all the categories presented and that is awarded for lifetime achievement. And I picked a deck that you can't tell what it is from this because I like ruined the box, or the box just like wasn't that strong, okay? It's not my fault. And I picked the Yonasa Yaos Tarot, which is literally in a different language, which is, I mean, the whole point, right? But I don't know if like the average American has a deck that's in a different language because there are so many English tarot decks. I guess if you have a Marseille. Yeah, I mean, and this is like Marseille based as well. She based this on, or the book that she recommends you use with this is The Way of Tarot by Jodorowsky. This is a unique deck as far as its proportion, right? Its ratio. It is in Galician, which is a dialect of Spanish. Galicia is, I believe it's an island of Spain, or maybe it's just an area of Spain. I'm probably blocking. Okay. It's so beautiful. It's like modern and historic at the same time. It also has like a 70s vibe. Maybe that's the color and the illustration style. But this is really, like, this is its own world, you know? From top to bottom, the crosses, the writing, the people, the colors. This was an incredibly developed design and concept. And this is like world building. And that's what film is. So a beautiful deck that I feel very lucky to own. She has multiple editions of this deck, and I believe the newest one is on sale on her website, yonasayas.com. Best movie in a foreign language. And the last Toscar, the last category, is best film, a deck that excels in all the categories presented and that it is awarded for lifetime achievement. And it in English language, obviously. I can't say that it has lifetime achievement because it's a newer deck of mine. And you know I had to do it. You knew I was gonna do it, and it's the Tiger Tarot by Lori Field. So I know this is going to be a lifetime achievement. And I do have a wonderful, or it was wonderful for me to make. I don't know if it's wonderful for you to watch, but a video that I made about this deck and going through it and speaking about how it speaks to me and the things I love most about it. And if you're interested, I will link that video below. I'll also link my Shakespeare Tarot video below as well. But as you can see, this looks like a great movie to be in, right? It's kind of giving me right now like a mix of Shakespeare in Love, 3,000 Years of Longing, and Everything Everywhere All at Once vibes. I have like a really, I think that collage decks are my favorite types of decks. And in my collage collection, this is of my favorites. But yeah, I'm not going to go at length about like the things that I think are wonderful about this deck in here. Like I said, you can find my video below if you want more information. But a really cool, awesome feminist deck with an amazing aesthetic and message. And that is my Toscars night 2023. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know how you feel and what you think. I can't wait to see your VR if you make videos. If you don't make videos, what are you doing? Go make a video. Please like and subscribe if you feel so inclined. I'd really appreciate that. It helps me out, and it helps me bring you more videos, more decks. If you have any requests as far as like the videos that you'd like me to make, or decks you would like me to highlight or speak more on, let me know. I'm so interested. I'm so appreciative of everyone here. Thank you again to Fairlight Tarot. As always, I want to thank you for being here. Thanks for being curious. Thanks for being my friend. My mom's coming. I gotta go.